Welcome, students. We are going to start our new chapter from chemistry section, that is matter around us pure? First of all, tell me what is matter? As we have read about it in first chapter, that matter is anything that occupies space and has mass. So all the materials which occupy space and has mass are called matter. Let's take an example of sugar and soil. Let's suppose we take sugar and soil on two different sheets of paper and we start observing them with a magnifying glass. What will you find? You will find that the color, shape, and size of all the particles of sugar are same, but the soil that contain particles of different colors, different shapes, sizes, right? For example, in soil you will have clay particles, some grass particles, and even some dead insects will be there. And in case of sugar, which it contains particles of only one kind. So we can say that sugar is a pure substance, whereas soil, which contains particles of different kinds, is an impure substance or is a mixture. So, students, all the matter around us is not pure. So, we can say that matter around us is of two types: pure substances and mixtures. Mixtures are also called impure substances, and in this chapter, we'll discuss both pure substances and mixtures in detail. So, let's start with pure substances. What is a pure substance? A pure substance is one which is made up of only one kind of particles. These particles may be atoms or molecules. So we can say that pure substance is the one which is made up of only one kind of atoms or molecules. For example, platinum, sulfur. If we take sulfur, if we take platinum, they are made of only one kind of particles. In platinum, you will have only platinum particles, platinum atoms, right? If you are having sulfur element, it will contain only one kind of particles. That means sulfur atoms, only same kind of sulfur atoms will be there. So these are pure substances. Similarly, when I talk about water, water is also made of only one kind of particles called water molecules, right? So water is also a pure substance. So let me tell you that pure substances are of two types: elements and compounds. All the elements and compounds are pure substances because they contain only one kind of particles. So all the elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, carbon, sulfur, gold, mercury, these are all pure substances and these are all elements. Similarly, if you take compounds, water, carbon dioxide, sodium chloride, sugar, calcium oxide, sodium hydroxide, sulfuric acid, naphthalene, sand, these are all pure substances. These are all compounds and they are pure substances. So pure substance is homogeneous throughout its mass. Pure substance is the one that cannot be separated into other kinds of matter by any physical process. And the pure substance is having a fixed composition as well as fixed melting point and boiling point, because pure substance is always formed of same kind of particles. Now let's talk about elements, which are a pure substance. An element is a substance which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by the usual chemical methods of applying heat, applying light, or giving electric energy. So we cannot split an element into a simpler substance. For example, you are having hydrogen, you are having iron. These are elements, right? Hydrogen is an element, iron is an element, because hydrogen cannot be split into two or more simpler substances. because iron cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by the usual methods of carrying out chemical reactions like applying heat, light, or electricity. Similarly, oxygen is an element because it cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical methods. But tell me, students, is water an element? No, water is not an element. Why? Because it can be split up into two simpler substances, hydrogen and oxygen, by passing electricity. So, water is not an element. So, element is the one which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances because it is made of only one kind of atoms. So you can have another definition of an element, that is, element is a substance which is made of only one kind of atoms. Okay, so if you are having copper metal is made of only one kind of atoms, copper atoms, right? So copper metal is an element. Similarly, if you have an iron metal, that is made of only iron atoms, so iron metal is an element. So it's clear that an element is made of same kind of atoms, and all the atoms of an element are identical. That is why I'm saying same kind of atom. So all the atoms are identical. Yeah, if you are having different elements, then the atoms will differ in size and composition. But if you are talking about an element, there you would have a similar kind of atoms. And there are almost 118 elements known at present, out of which 94 elements occur in nature, while the remaining 24 elements they have been prepared artificially. And every substance in this world is made up of one or more of these elements. So the common elements which we are having are hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, sulfur, sodium, calcium is there, copper, gold, silicon, tin, mercury, lot of elements are there. And diamond and graphite, they are also elements. Actually, they are the allotropic forms of carbon element, okay? And each element is represented by a separate symbol. Suppose if I am having an iron element is represented by the symbol Fe, right? If I am having hydrogen element, hydrogen is represented by H. If I am having helium is represented by He. So every element is represented by a separate symbol. And let me tell you, students, elements can be solids, liquids, or gases. Some elements are solids, some elements are liquid, whereas some elements are gases at the room temperature. If we take up sodium and carbon elements, they are solids. Mercury and bromine elements, they are liquids. Hydrogen and oxygen elements, they are gases. So majority of the elements are solids. 11 elements are gases. And only 2 elements are liquids at room temperature. That is mercury from metals and bromine from non-metals. Both are liquids, okay? So most of the material around us are made up of combination of 2 or more elements. For example, if you take water, that is made of 2 elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Sugar, that is also made of 3 elements, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So just as 26 letters of English alphabet combine in various different ways to make large number of words, in the same way, few elements combine together in different ways and make extremely large number of materials and objects. Even we, the human body, that is made up of complex compounds, and those complex compounds are formed by the combination of certain elements. Suppose like our body, that contains 65% of oxygen element, 18% of carbon element, 10% of hydrogen element, 3% of nitrogen element, 2% of calcium element, 2% of other elements. So basically materials are made of different elements which are combined in different ways, okay? So now elements which is a pure substance is also of 3 types. metals, non-metals, and metalloids. And we'll compare metals and non-metals on the basis of their properties. Okay, so you must be aware about the properties of metals and non-metals. Metals, you know that they are malleable and ductile. That means metals can be hammered into thin sheets and they can be drawn into thin wires. So that is why metals are malleable and ductile. Malleable means which can be hammered into sheets, and ductile means which can be drawn into wires. So metals are malleable and ductile. Whereas non-metals, they are brittle. It means on hammering they get broken down. We can't hammer them, they get broken down into pieces. So now non-metals are brittle, they are neither malleable nor ductile. Metals, they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Basically, they conduct heat, they allow the heat and electricity to pass through them. Non-metals, they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. They do not allow heat and electricity to pass through them, except diamond and graphite. Let me tell you, students, diamond and graphite, these are the allotropic forms of carbon. These are actually made of carbon atoms. So carbon is a non-metal. Okay, so diamond and graphite are made of non-metal. Okay, now non-metals are bad conductors of heat, but diamond is a good conductor of heat. So exceptions are always there. Non-metals are bad conductors of electricity, except graphite, which is a good conductor of electricity. So these are the two exceptions. Okay, metals are lustrous. That means they are shiny, they can be polished. But non-metals, they are non-lustrous, they are dull, they cannot be polished, except iodine. Students, iodine is a non-metal and it's having shine, it's having a luster. So this is an exception here. Another property of metals are that metals are solids at room temperature, except mercury. Mercury is a metal, but it's liquid at room temperature. Okay. Non-metals may be solid, liquid, or gases at the room temperature. Okay. Metals are usually hard and strong. They are very tough. They have high tensile strength, except sodium and potassium. They are the soft metals which can be easily cut with a knife. Okay. Non-metals, they are not strong. They have low tensile strength. Okay. They cannot bear the large weight. They will get broken down. So non-metals are not strong. Another property of metals is that metals are sonorous. They make a ringing sound when struck. But non-metals are not sonorous. They do not make a ringing sound when we strike them. Okay, students? So, we can, these are just the comparison between the properties of metals and non-metals. And one more type is that is of metalloids. So, there are few elements which show some properties of metals and other properties of non-metals. For example, they look like metals, but they are brittle like non-metals. They are neither conductors of electricity like metals, nor they are insulators like non-metals. In fact, they are semiconductors. So the elements which show some properties of metals and some other properties of non-metals, they are called metalloids. So their properties are intermediate between the properties of metals and non-metals. And metalloids are also sometimes called semi-metals. And the important examples of metalloids are boron, silicon, germanium. These are the examples of metalloids.